Right everyone, today we're going to be looking again at the Jedi Knight Revan GL Ray counter we covered a couple of weeks ago. Since then I've made some small changes to make the team even more reliable. We're now beating Relic 7 GL Ray squads with 4 Gear 12 characters in our squad, which is absolutely amazing. The former team featuring Grandmaster Yoda was doing very well until we started meeting Darth Malak compositions which started to give me some issues, so I decided to swap in Hermit Yoda and found the results very reliable. I then tried this against the usual squads I fight on a daily basis and found it to be better there too. I'll be showing the Malak footage towards the end of the video, but for now we're going to be going through the team and how it generally works in most circumstances, as the tactics change a little when Malak is present. As you can see from the footage, the full lineup we're using is Jedi Knight Revan, Bastila, Gas, Hermit Yoda and Thrawn. This team is absolutely dominating most of the GL Ray squads of various different modding styles. I do also feel the GL Ray AI has been tweaked a lot more than CG were letting on, as after the changes they made designed to stop an issue where 5s was targeted constantly, I noticed some changes against my original squad too, which made it a lot harder to win. Luckily this lineup seems to be unaffected though. So the current team I'm fighting in the footage are all Relic 5 plus, with Ray being Relic 7. Hermit Yoda makes Gas a lot less likely to die in the fight, given he gets some amazing stat increases from the Master's training buff, including a 50% defense increase. This allows him to tank a lot more of the hits throughout the fight without dying, which is a real possibility with the old Grandmaster Yoda lineup I covered on the previous video. We're now going to take a quick look at the mods and zetas we need for this team to work. So as you can see everyone, we do in fact have 4 of our team Gear 12 now, compared to our previous 3 Gear 12s from the last video, which is absolutely amazing. Being able to counter this powerhouse of a team with such a limited investment. I'm hoping this will help you all deal with GL Ray effectively, so you can all still reach your arena payouts and keep your crystal income flowing smoothly. You will 100% need Relic 7 on your Gas though. I don't think this would work with anything lower. The rest of your squad are more than good enough at Gear 12 though. As for the zetas, very similar to last time, you're going to need all 3 of Revan's. Gas is basic, which allows him to hit twice during his turn, and he's chosen one unique, which will basically make him remove 20% of Ray's max HP each time he hits her once she has no protection. A massive factor in why we're able to win this battle and why we can take her out so easily later on in the battle. You're also going to need Hermit Yoda's strength flows through the Force setter, as the additional protection healing for your team and foresight for your Jedi allies is going to help keep anyone from being taken out. Moving on to their mods, which overall still isn't too bad. Let's start with our Jedi Knight Revan, who we have modded with our fastest mods, giving us a total of 320 speed. You could probably get away with less, but it's always best to have as much speed as possible. This is currently one of my best speed sets. In addition, he'll also grant all Jedi, including himself, an additional plus 30 speed from his lead. The opposing GL Ray will do the same for all light side allies, so base speeds will work fine when looking at your opponent's mods. Up next we have our Gas, who's modded with a crit damage and crit chance set with a total of 282 speed. Being fast is very important for Gas, but make sure to run an offense cross and a crit damage triangle to make sure his damage is high, so he can easily knock GL Ray below 50% health and be able to kill off the remaining team once she's dead. Next up is our Hermit Yoda, who's modded with a speed set and 2 fast mods with a total of 246 speed. This is a very average set of mods. The speed isn't even that fast, but with him that's the only thing you need to worry about. The faster he is, the more healing and stat boosts he's going to provide for your team. Next up is our Thrawn, who's modded with another of my B class speed sets. You must make sure your Thrawn is at least half as fast as the opposing GL Ray plus 1, so he's able to fracture her before a second attack. This is the only thing that matters with him. Be sure to remember that GL Ray will gain plus 30 speed from her lead. And finally we have our Bastila, who's modded with a poor speed set, giving her a total of 223 speed. Try to have her faster than this if possible, as it's really nice to have legendary battle meditation on Gas as much as possible, as the counter attacks will help get Ray down very quickly once she comes out of fracture. So now let's take a look at a battle against a strong GL Ray team. As we're fighting R2, it's important that our Jedi Knight Revan goes before he does to prevent the chance of him stealthing GL Ray. We need to open up by marking her so we can ignore any taunts or stealth and keep focusing her down throughout the battle. After this we're going to keep hitting her with everything we have, with the goal of getting her protection gone, so that anytime Gas hits her after this, he's reducing her max HP by 20%, which will make it a lot easier to kill her. Thrawn should take his first turn right before GL Ray takes her second, and at this point we need to fracture her. After that our goal is simple, we just need to proc her below 50% health to proc her turn of damage immunity. If we do this while fractured, by the time she comes out of fracture and takes a turn, the damage immunity will expire and we should be good to kill her. Also remember to place Master's training on Gas, as well as giving him Bastila's buffs. This will usually clear right away, but the damage for one attack is still nice. Another important thing is to make sure GL Ray stays ability blocked. This is the job of your Bastila, and each time GL Ray takes a turn, the ability block will fall off. The problem here is GL Ray is likely taking 2 turns for each of your Bastila's turns, so it's important to have abilities like Revan's Middle and Strategic Advantage off cooldown ready for when she comes out of fracture, as if she's able to do Whirlwind, she'll likely kill your Gas, which in 9 out of 10 of battles amounts to a loss. After Ray comes out of Fracture, if you're lucky enough to have Battle Meditation on Gas, he will likely kill her with counterattacks, which makes things even easier. Direct Focus from Revan will also cause an ability block, but you need to be using this as much as possible to make sure Mark doesn't fall off GL Ray, especially after she comes out of Fracture. So with Ray dead, we just need to clean up the rest of the team. As long as Gas is alive, this will be easy. Like Ray, once you proc a member below 50% health, they'll become immune to damage for 1 turn. If you can kill them in 1 hit above 50% health though, you'll be able to kill them without activating this. I like to kill Res Hero, Finn and Poe first, as these guys can occasionally kill Gas when together. We're going to look at one more similar battle now before moving on to Malak compositions. So this battle is against one of the harder teams in my shard. Really strong mods, and GK being here actually does make the fight a lot harder in a few ways. I didn't really notice that on my previous video when I wrote him off as irrelevant, but a big problem I feel is the crit hit immunity makes Ray harder to take down at the end, as well as the fact his taunt is so persistent, it can make counterattacks target him instead of Ray, which results in slower kills. And as you all know, the longer Ray is around, the higher the chance of something going wrong, like an ability block getting resisted and a whirlwind happening at the wrong time. I also forgot to talk about Saviour in the first battle, which is likely to go off very early in the battle before you can apply Master's Training. This is absolutely nothing to worry about and is normal. Your Gas might also get stunned very early, even before Mark is applied. This is also perfectly normal and nothing to worry about. After Saviour is gone though, you do need to keep an eye on Gas's health. The great thing about Gas though is he heals massive amounts of health when he deals damage, especially on his AoE. He'll also gain protection back when attacking out of turn and from Thrawn's heal, which should be used on Gas right after Fracture. As you all know, you also have Hermit Yoda's heal and the Revan middle ability, although the latter should not be used unless you absolutely need to, because as I mentioned before, this is more important to be used as an emergency way to pass turn meter to Bastila to prevent Ray from using Whirlwind. As for Yoda's heal, I generally use it in different places in the battle, sometimes to save Gas or other times just to top up everyone's protection and award foresight. It really depends how the battle's going. It's also important to apply as much armor shred to Ray as possible with Gas's first special, as this helps a lot in dealing damage to her on the second part of the battle. I actually struggled to kill her during this battle. The crit hit immunity really ruined things to the point where Gas actually killed Kenobi first, Mark fell off Ray, and we had to use a second Fracture on her. At least this shows that even when things go completely wrong, as long as you make sure ability block stays on Ray, you should be good to win the battle. So with GK already dead now, it's just going to be the same as last time. We still have Gas, so cleaning up the rest of this squad will be no problem at all. In the final battle coming up now, we're going to talk about how to deal with Malak compositions, as the tactics used do change a little when he is present. So here we are everyone, a Malak composition. Now I know a lot of you have been struggling with these, and while we do have to play it a little differently, it's going to work mostly the same for most of the battle. We start off pretty similar in the fact we're going to mark Ray. The first key change though is we're going to use Gas's basic on his first turn. This is to prevent him getting feared too early, as soon after Malak is going to take a turn and apply shock to one of our team, causing him to taunt. Hermit Yoda is then going to take a turn and we're going to put Master's Training on Gas, targeting Malak so we can get a strong hit on him. Most of the time this should trigger Malak's first drain life cooldown. As long as everyone on your team has some protection, this won't be an issue. In this battle he used it on Bastila, which was cutting it a little close, but we managed fine. At this point Gas is going to be feared, so be sure to use an ability block instead of wasting Bastila's buffs on her next turn. After this, Revan should be due to take his next turn, so we're going to swap turn meter with Gas to clear the fear, who should already have some turn meter built up. Then shortly after, Revan should take another turn. At this point we're going to target Malak and use strategic advantage, calling Gas to assist, which is going to kill him off. Once this is done, it's back to business as usual. While we are a little behind on GL Ray, we should be fine to continue as normal. Start stacking armor shred and getting as many hits with Gas on her as possible to try and make up for the lost time on Malak. And she's pretty much dead. Time for some more cleanup now. As usual, nothing to worry about at all at this point. After we finish up here, I'm going to quickly show you all the mods the opponents had from all 3 battles we went through in detail. This will not include the first clip at the start of the video though, to avoid taking too much time. You really don't need to be perfect with your own mods as shown on this video. Most of my team don't even have optimal mods except for Gas and Revan, which makes this very doable for a lot of you guys. So here's a little slideshow of the mods from some of the teams I fought, and that's about it for today. I hope you all enjoyed the video and learned how to use Jedi Knight Revan more effectively against top end Relic 7 GL Ray teams. I know so many of you have been struggling with these teams, and I'm fully confident if you practice a little with this lineup, you'll be able to beat almost all of them. Now I have been getting a lot of questions about her ultimate ability and if this squad works once GL Ray has it, and the answer is sometimes. Ability block does not prevent Ray from using her ultimate, so it can cause additional problems. I can sometimes win with this lineup, but it's not guaranteed. I do however have a counter for that I'm currently in the process of perfecting, and I'll be sure to make a video on that when I feel it's good enough for you all, as I wouldn't feel right releasing something that isn't at least 80% reliable, as that wouldn't really help anyone. As always everyone, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, join my Discord server and share the video with your friends. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you all very soon.